Now at 4, the historic trial of former President Donald Trump getting underway as the first witness takes a stand. What the former publisher of a national magazine said about his coverage of Trump's 2016 White House bid. Plus,
I was sitting on my front porch smoking a cigarette. Next thing you know, I heard a loud boom, and I'm like, what is going on?
A close call for a woman inside an apartment just moments before a tree came crashing through the roof.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
First at 4, it is day 1 of former President Donald Trump's hush money trial coming to a close after prosecutors called their first witness in this case.
WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown joins us in the studio with the testimony from that first witness.
Yeah, former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker testified about paying for stories about Trump. It's a practice prosecutors say he used to help Donald Trump's bid for the White House. He has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. Meanwhile, David Pecker is expected to be back on the stand tomorrow. Back to you.
All right, Gail. Well, President Joe Biden will visit tomorrow. He'll be in Tampa for a speech denouncing the state's new 6-week abortion ban. The trip is part of his campaign's efforts to nationalize the conversation around state abortion bans.
A 6-year-old kidnapped while his mother held at knife point. Those suspected of being behind the attack in Brevard County now behind bars after being tracked down hundreds of miles away.
The child is also safe. WESH 2's Scott Heidlaler joins us live from the Melbourne Police Headquarters with what happens next in the case. Scott.
Yes, and they're telling us here at the Melbourne Police Department that the extradition process has begun for those accused in this abduction and attack. But right now, it's just not clear how long it's going to take. The Melbourne Police believe that the 4 accused in this situation are related to the child's father, who lives in Alabama. Reporting live in Melbourne, Scott Heidler, WESH 2 News.
Developing tonight in Seminole County, deputies are still looking for this man who was believed to be connected to a deadly carjacking of Catherine Aguas Vivas. The sheriff identified 27-year-old Giovanni Joel Crespo Hernandez as a person of interest last week. Deputies say he may be the person last to see Aguas Vivas. 28-year-old Jordanish Torres Garcia was taken into custody last week on charges related to a different case. Investigators are also trying to track down someone who was riding in this green Acura when the carjacking happened. That person has not been identified. An Orange City apartment was severely damaged when a tree directly behind it toppled on top of it. This happened around 6 o'clock this morning. No one was hurt, but the woman home at the time had quite a frightening few moments. WESH 2's Dave McDaniel looks at what happened. The first floor apartment was not as badly damaged, but did have a tree branch pierced right through the ceiling.
A convicted murderer had his last chance to ask a judge to spare his life today. Bestman Okafor was in court after a jury recommended he be put to death. WESH 2's Bob Hazen reports from the Orange County Courthouse, where Okafor did not put up much of a fight.
In Brevard County, the health department has issued a rabies alert. This is in response to a confirmed case in a raccoon that was captured on Hyld Road just off Minton Road. The boundaries for the alert are from Norfolk Parkway to Minton Road to Emerson Drive to Glen Cove Avenue in Northwest Palm Bay. The alert is in effect for 60 days. People in Maitland no longer need to boil their water. The city ended a boil water notice that went into effect Saturday after pressure dropped due to a mechanical failure. The water has been tested and deemed safe.
A Florida judge today paused Florida State University's lawsuit against the ACC, saying the school needs to amend its legal challenge before the case can move forward. FSU filed its lawsuit in December, challenging what it describes as more than $500 million in penalties if it wants to exit the conference. But the day before, the conference filed its own lawsuit in North Carolina about many of the same issues. FSU says that potential penalties are unreasonable, but the ACC says the school breached a contract by filing the lawsuit.
This case is not as complicated as it seems. It's actually very simple. It's a contract dispute. Those contracts were a good deal when they signed them, in their minds. They remained a good deal in their mind for many years. And it wasn't until Florida State read that maybe getting more money for media rights agreements that were negotiated by those conferences after the agreement that the ACC negotiated with ESPN, that they started complaining.
So the judge ruled the lawsuit as it stands cannot be brought against the ACC in Florida, but did give FSU more time to address the issue.
WESH 2 News proudly took home 5 awards Saturday night at the Florida Association of Broadcast Journalists Awards. Winners include Greg Fox for transportation reporting and Michelle Imparato for Best Anchor.
The WESH 2 News Sunrise team also won for Best Morning Newscast. Our Saving Our Streets initiative was recognized for series reporting, and WESH 2 won for Community Service Station of the Year. Congratulations to the whole team for this big honor. All right, still to come, a troubling new trend across the country.
More young adults are being diagnosed with cancer. The one reason doctors say rises above all others.
Plus, growing protests and arrests on college campuses across the country, how it's impacting classes and the safety of students. But first.
He was dragging him into the pond.
A Florida man stumbles upon his friend being dragged into a pond by an alligator. What he had to do to get the reptile to let his friend go. Cam.
Absolutely gorgeous weather across Central Florida today. If you like today's forecast, you'll absolutely love tomorrow's. We're going to put in a repeat with high temperatures climbing back into the upper 70s. I'll show you when we'll see our next best chance of rain here in Central Florida coming up on the other side of the break.
Closed captioning brought to you by National Floors Direct.
WESH 2 is there for breaking news.
The expanding investigation into a deadly carjacking, multiple cases, counties, and scenes.
A person of interest in this case has been taken into custody.
For taking you into the sky.
I got to ride along today with the U.S. Navy Blue Angels. This was an experience I don't think I can correctly describe.
For the biggest sports moments.
An official welcome back to the playoffs to the Orlando Magic.
Trust WESH 2 News for local, live, late-breaking coverage.
A man down in Collier County is recovering from a gator attack, and tonight we're hearing from a neighbor who came to his rescue.
Trent Bennett from our sister station spoke to the man who describes how he got the alligator to let his friend go.
That was Trent Bennett reporting. Rick is expected to be okay.
FWC has since captured and removed that alligator.
All right, National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day is coming up. It's an opportunity for people in Central Florida and across the country to safely dispose of expired or unwanted prescription drugs. You can join the movement this Saturday from 10 to 2. All you have to do is drop off any unwanted prescriptions at a participating police department or CVS pharmacy. You can also take it to the UCF Student Union this Thursday. We are just days away from one of the largest mental health fundraisers in Central Florida.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness of Greater Orlando is getting ready for NAMI Walks in Altamont Springs. This is some video from last year. More than 1,000 people showed up to help erase the stigma. Money raised supports all the free programs and resources that NAMI provides to anyone in Central Florida. Last year, the organization helped 20,000 people from Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. NAMI Walks is this Saturday morning at 8 o'clock at Cranes Roost Park. WESH 2 is the media sponsor, and WESH 2's Christina Watkins will once again serve as the MC. Anyone interested in volunteering or donating can search NAMI Walks on our website, WESH.com.
SpaceX gearing up for another rocket launch from our Space Coast. A Falcon 9 is set to carry a batch of Starlink satellites into orbit tomorrow night. The launch window opens at 6:15.
Hurricane season just a little more than a month away, and Volusia County wants to make sure that you are prepared. They're holding a 2024 Hurricane Expo on May 4th in DeLand. More than 50 vendors will be there to answer any questions that you have about keeping you and your family safe. They've got hurricane preparedness resources and demonstrations.
All right, let's get things over to Cam Tran now for a check of that forecast. It really started out as a gloomy day out there.
Especially when we start talking about hurricanes and gloomy. Cam, not so much.
Yeah, we were talking about that Hurricane Expo. We're officially 40 days away until the start of hurricane season. And Nancy talked about the gloomy skies, but thankfully the drier air worked its way in, and we're starting to see some peaks of sunshine out this afternoon. Here's a live look from our tower camera network over beautiful downtown Orlando, seeing some sunshine out. And despite the sunshine, we barely made it to the mid-70s this afternoon. We're currently at 74 in Orlando. Good afternoon, Leesburg. You're currently at 77, 75 right now in Claremont. Not only are we seeing cooler In terms of the humidity, here's a look at the dew point to measure the moisture in the air. Right now, sitting very comfortable in the upper 40s and 50s. So a very, very pleasant ending to your Monday. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. So this is a look at our visible satellite. You can see clear skies off to our north and west, more cloud cover to our south and east because that drier air is taking its time working its way in, but it eventually will, and that's going to clear the skies as we go into the overnight hours. Wind speeds coming out of the north about 5 to 15 miles per hour, bringing that very comfortable air our way. So looking at your 12-hour forecast and your evening planner here, we are going to see a pleasant night ahead. Overnight tonight with those clear conditions, temperatures will be cooling off very quickly. They'll have you grabbing your jacket before heading out the door tomorrow morning. A refreshing start in Ocala, 48 there, 52 in the Villages, 58 tomorrow morning in Orlando. High temperatures will be climbing into the upper 70s to low 80s in inland spots. 80 the high tomorrow in Leesburg, 77 in DeLand. We'll top out at 74 in New Smyrna Beach. This is all courtesy of that cold front that moved through in the overnight hours, bringing us that comfortable and cooler air. Tomorrow's a perfect day to head out to our local theme parks. Pleasant start in the morning, comfortable sunshine in the afternoon, and beautiful in the evening. With high pressure and control, we are going to see another nice day ahead for Wednesday. Even as we head towards the end of the week, we are going to stay dry. In fact, we're not tracking any rain in the forecast all the way till the end of the week. In fact, our next best shot of rain, which isn't that much, will be the upcoming weekend. Both weekend days getting a green check mark of approval, but we do have that 10% chance for a shot of rain. That is mostly going to be for our coastal locations. Inland spots dry. We'll see just a slight uptick in moisture, and with that east-northeasterly flow, that's going to bring in a few coastal rain showers this upcoming weekend. Speaking of the weekend, here's a look at that extended weather forecast. Look at this beautiful stretch of nice calm in Central Florida. Biggest suggestion, go out and enjoy because the rainy season is around the corner. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll show you how many days we have left until we start the average start of the rainy season, and a look at that launch forecast for you coming up at 4:47.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. Visit your local T-Mobile store and switch today.
All right, we're following some breaking news this afternoon. A major development in downtown Orlando is now one step closer to becoming a reality.
Orlando commissioners just unanimously approved a $500 million sports and entertainment complex. This will be on the 8 acres sitting on the north side of the Kia Center. This includes housing and retail and is expected to break ground this year. The hope is that the project will be complete by 2027. WESH News' Greg Fox is inside of the meeting right now, and we'll have a live report coming up on WESH 2 News at 6. Tonight, the Orlando Magic will look to even the series against the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 2 of the first round of the NBA playoffs.
The Cavs beat the Magic 97-83 in Game 1 over the weekend. After the loss, the Magic held a practice Sunday and talked about what went wrong, including getting over those first game nerves.
You look at Bron had the podcast with JJ Redick and said he was nervous his first playoff game. So who am I to lie and say I wasn't a little bit? But good nerves, though. Good nerves. Nerves of excitement. Nerves of wanting to play well for my brothers, for the city, and for our team.
The good nerves. Our WESH 2 sports team is on the road in Cleveland to get you set for Game 2. They'll have a live preview coming up on WESH 2 News at 5, and the game starts at 7. And we will have your highlights on WESH 2 News at 10 and 11.
The NBA announced Magic head coach Jamal Mosley is one of 3 finalists for the league's Coach of the Year award. Mosley has improved the Magic's win total by double digits each season as coach. Magic had 22 wins his first year, 34 wins last year, and then 47 wins and the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs just this season. Today is Earth Day, when we celebrate our planet.
Yeah, we also remember the importance of conserving and protecting the environment.
If we take care of our planet will take care of us.
Healthy habits you can do right now to help both the environment and your body. But first,
advocates for the homeless are fighting what they call the criminalization of people who have no shelter and no housing. I'm WESH 2's Greg Fox. I'll tell you how a Supreme Court case could affect a new Florida law.
WESH 2 News continues.
Right now, more than 15,000 people in Florida are homeless. More 300 live right here in Central Florida.
Today, WESH News' Greg Fox was with people fighting to provide more shelter and more affordable housing in our region.
Depending on what the Supreme Court decides, the state's ban on camping or sleeping on public property takes effect October 1st.
In South Florida, the Miami Seaquarium was officially served with an eviction notice one day after the deadline to vacate the property passed. The county ordered the eviction after USDA reports claimed the park did not provide its animals with adequate treatment and care. Most recently, the agency says that a sea lion may have died because of a lack of resources for the veterinarian. The company that owns Miami Seaquarium is suing the county over the eviction.
The first witness took the stand today in the historic criminal trial of former President Donald Trump.
Prosecutors accused him of illegally concealing payments to an adult film star to keep quiet about an alleged affair in order to influence the 2016 election.
The former president denies any wrongdoing. NBC's Alice Barr reports on the opening testimony. TikTok is promising to challenge a potential U.S. ban of its app. The House passed a foreign aid bill Saturday that also includes a call for TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to sell it within 270 days or risk a nationwide ban. In a memo, the company says it plans on filing a court challenge if the bill is signed into law. TikTok says the bill infringes on First Amendment rights. Fashion retailer Express is filing for bankruptcy and will close more than 100 stores in the U.S. I remember when I used to fit into those jeans. That was years ago. Okay, the company also operates Bonobos and Up West Express stores. The closures include all 12 of the Up West stores and 95 Express stores. The company has about 530 locations in the U.S. and Puerto Rico. It has a potential buyer lined up for most of its stores and operations.
This one's tough next, too.
This is why I no longer fit in those jeans. Central Florida-based Tex-Mex company Tijuana Flats is filing for bankruptcy. The restaurant chain also announced it's closing 11 locations, blaming financial performance, costs, and market conditions. Its remaining locations will stay open. A new ownership group, Flatheads, has acquired the brand. The company first began in Winter Park in 1995. The workload of parents who stay home with their kids has a pretty high value, but a new study is putting a number on it.
A new study looked at how much the parents' labor would cost to outsource chores like cleaning, cooking, shopping, and tutoring. San Francisco ranked the highest at about $5,200 worth of tasks per month.
Per month. Wow.
I actually would think that that's a little low.
Yeah, I mean, considering everything that goes into it's a lot.
If you got multiple kids, there's going to be a lot more money. All right, if you're looking for the best airline to travel on this summer, Wallet Hub has a look at the best.
Yeah, they considered cost in relation to in-flight amenities, affordability, comfort, safety, and the number of cancellations and delays. At number 5, United, followed by Delta and then Spirit. Number 2 on the list, SkyWest, and at number 1, Alaska Airlines with a score of 68 out of 100. Delta was ranked the most reliable and had the lowest number of canceled and delayed flights. Spirit Airlines nabbed its spot for most affordable airline. Coming up, a new study highlighting the colossal cost of climate change.
How this will not only impact big companies and governments, but you as well.
Plus, Brightline breaking ground on a new high-speed rail line, but not here in Florida. The two major cities it will connect at nearly 200 miles per hour.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
With WESH 2 News, you're at the center of breaking news.
That's because we tell the stories that matter to you.
We know how valuable your time is.
So our time is spent on accurate reporting.
We'll bring you more when we know more.
Bringing you the information you need to know. Alerting you to all that's happening in Central Florida. So you can trust when a story breaks.
We will be there for you.
Stuart Moore and Summer Knowles, weeknights at 6 and 11 on WESH 2 News. Local, live, late breaking. Brightline officials broke ground today on a new high-speed rail line connection to Vegas to L.A.
This is video of Brightline trains here in Florida. The fully electric trains are designed to reach speeds of 186 miles per hour, comparable to Japan's bullet trains. This will cut the 4-hour drive down a little more than 2 hours. It will run in the median of Interstate 15 with no crossings. The Vegas station will be located right near the Strip. Officials hope to have the $12 billion project finished by the 2028 Summer Olympics in L.A. They expect 11 million one-way passengers per year, or about 30,000 per day, with fares below airline travel cost. Those trains will offer Wi-Fi, food, and drink sales, and the option to check some luggage.
Record-breaking heat waves, severe floods, and wildfires, all made worse by climate change, carry a colossal price tag and are literally making the world poorer.
A new study predicts a nearly 20% reduction in global income over the next couple of decades. And as Ivan Rodriguez reports, it will not just impact big corporations and governments.
All right, it is no surprise when we see an alligator in Florida, right?
But this one in Fort Myers caught a lot of people off guard.
He's trying to get inside.
Oh, he just hit your door.
He knocked the door.
He didn't ring the doorbell, though. Sierra Grant noticed the alligator hiding under her neighbor's car last week. The reptile walked 2 houses over, where you can see him at the front door in this video. The neighbors decided not to stay outside too long. The next morning, when the alligator made another appearance, wildlife officials showed up and removed it.
Okay, all's well that ends well, I guess.
Again, it's mating season, so expect them to see them on the move.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about today, because it really took a turn late in the afternoon. We started out really gloomy out there.
Yeah, we had a lot of cloud cover this morning, but the dry air is starting to work its way in, and so we're going to see those clouds clear out, especially by tonight and into the overnight hours. And that's going to allow those temperatures to plummet. Taking a look at those temperatures right now, we're currently at 74 in Orlando, 72 in Stanford. We only topped out around 77 this afternoon in Orlando. We're currently at 77 right now in Leesburg. So very comfortable out there. Look at the temperature drop after that cold front moved through. So the temperature we're feeling right now is about 8 to 20 degrees cooler than where we were yesterday. The culprit behind all that, courtesy of this cold front that moved through, and behind it we are noticing that cooler, drier, and refreshing air push its way in. Although we're still dealing with a bit of stubborn cloud cover, especially I-4 on eastward, we are noticing a little bit more clearing off to our north and west. Those clouds are not producing a single drop of rain. Here's a look at our first warning radar showing absolutely dry conditions, but our friends to the south there in South Florida dealing with a couple gusty thunderstorms. Looking ahead at your 12-hour forecast, we are going to see clear skies in the overnight hours, again allowing those temperatures to plummet. So as you wake up tomorrow morning, you're going to need to grab that jacket. We'll start off in the upper 50s in the Orlando metro. Plenty of sunshine through the day tomorrow, and another dry day ahead, and a very comfortable one, in fact. A high of just 79 tomorrow in Orlando, 80 Kissimmee, 78 in Sanford, and lower 70s there across the board there on our coastal locations. Tomorrow will be a perfect day to head out to the theme parks. Lots of sunshine, very comfortable and pleasant conditions. We also have a Falcon 9 launch that was scheduled for tonight. It's been pushed back to tomorrow evening, though. Right now, from a weather standpoint, a 95% chance it will be a go. And the conditions actually look a lot more favorable for tomorrow night for the launch. Looking ahead for midweek. We're going to keep it nice and comfortable, so cool tomorrow, and then we start to gradually warm things up as we go towards Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame here. With high pressure and control that's acting as a blocking mechanism, really not allowing any fronts to head our way. So in terms of any rainfall, we're not talking about any all the way through the end of the work week. Go out and enjoy this beautiful stretch of dry, pleasant weather, because I hate to bring it to you, the wet season is right around the corner. The average start for the wet season, May 27th, and that is about 35 days away. So go out, enjoy these pleasant conditions, these very, very refreshing, comfortable dew points, because come the rainy season, you guys know, those dew points climb into the upper 60s to low 70s. It starts to feel a little bit more tropical and more uncomfortable to be outside. That's not the case this week, though. Here's a look ahead at that extended weather forecast. Look at this gorgeous stretch of weather. Our next best chance of rain, only a 10% chance over the weekend into early next week, and that's mostly for our coastal locations. Inland spots, I think you're in great shape. It's going to be dry. It is going to be a beautiful stretch of weather ahead. Coming up at 5, Chief Meteorologist Tony Minolfi will show you which areas can see those temperatures drop down into the 40s overnight. Ooh, chilly start. He's coming up at 5.
First warning weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Handyman Roofing.
For decades, the greats like Cher, Jimmy Buffett, and Ozzy Osbourne have sold out arenas and rocked the music scene.
Now their hard work is paying off. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announces 2024 class today. Those include Cher, Mary J. Blige, Dave Matthews Band, Ozzy Osbourne, Peter Frampton, Foreigner, A Tribe Called Quest, Dionne Warwick, and Kool and the Gang. All of these should have already been in.
Yeah, right? Like what?
The induction is October 19th. It'll happen in Cleveland, Ohio. WESH News at 5 is straight ahead. Here's what's coming up in our next hour.
A deadly carjacking case with so many twists and turns. We show you how all the dots connect on a bulletin board.
And a plan to build a multi-million-dollar entertainment complex near the Kia Center approved. When construction will be complete if all goes well.